And the day is finally here. So this is the RAM I've been using for the past month and a half or so. I'm not giving it back yet because it has all my stuff that I prepared for the car, like the boards, you know, the mothballs, a toolkit to disconnect the battery. But look at this. See this little blue car right here? Believe it or not, that's mine. I like how on the back it has nothing except Dodge, besides Dodge. Nothing on the side except this. This is the only symbol you can see. Okay, and the brakes. I don't know why they went with the black, and that's an option. I think it's like $300 option to have black brakes. So these are summer tires, 275, 40, 20. I don't see which one is this. Pirelli? I'm not sure, but yeah, these are definitely not good for winter. They hardly have any tread. But I'm a bit... The car is very dirty. They didn't do any detailing yet, and so that's what I'm waiting for. We're gonna disable the fob cloning, and they're gonna clean it. We're gonna put some more air. It's okay. You're gonna be in my video?
I don't mind it, but
no, it's okay. You go ahead.
Okay. Ricardo, he's another finance manager.
Yeah.
He said he has no problem registering this. He has just a few questions for you. Okay. When you're ready. He saw you out here and he's like, I don't want to interrupt him.
No, it's okay. Okay. Let's go. Sorry, I had to interrupt the broadcast because my sales guy Steven, by the way, big shout out to Steven for hooking me up with this baby. So the Steven came over, said the finance manager wanted to talk to me about plating because they thought I was doing it, but I said no, I'd like you guys to do it. And turns out they you know, before they used to go to a registry and they have a special window, like it's quickly for them. But nowadays he says they don't have to go anywhere. It's all by email. I gave him my credit card. He says we're not going to charge you a fee, we'll just charge you whatever the, you know, DOT office or registry charges, and that's it. But this thing, guys, once I unpack it in the spring, we're gonna go over the specs. But this thing has every single feature that's available as an option. It's enabled. Like you see the sunroof, right? Performance tires, that's $600 Canadian extra. Black brakes, that's $300. It has leather. It has black leather, black steering wheel. It has carbon fiber on the dash. This is, you know, like from the outside it doesn't look like that much, right? So again, looking from the side, the only way to tell if it's not a regular Challenger is that it says SRT on wheels and it has that logo here on the side. But I see nowhere. Maybe they do it because so many people were complaining about these cars getting stolen. It doesn't say anywhere Hellcat, right? Just that symbol. So maybe I can just file off that symbol, but then you still have SRT. And then here they were saying, I wonder, yeah, you see, like this one is empty. There's a hole in here. So this one is a work. Oh, it has SRT in here as well. But the other headlight is also hollow, but that one is fake. But this one is real, so I'm gonna plug it with that steel wool that I brought. And these are real. You know, before they used to have only one intake, now they have two, and they're real functional intakes. And I see they already took off that cover, you know, the yellow cover, which is interesting. But they swear that the car was not damaged during transportation, that the delay was caused by COVID, labor shortage, all that good stuff, you know. But it's gonna look much better once it's cleaned and detailed. And this thing has one of the options was I think it has that expensive speaker system. So it has a subwoofer in the trunk. I forgot, it has 18 speakers or 20 speakers, some crazy stuff like that. But yeah, I see. Sorry, it's so dirty, but yeah, leather on the steering wheel, pedals, and carbon fiber also where the shifter is. Man, stitched white stitching on black seats. Okay, and this one, I think my previous car didn't have this, but I think it might help. And they're gonna fill it up with gas. And I reminded them it needs premium gas. So yeah, so basically, oh, and the exhaust is dual exhaust, and it's I see like rectangular, like the tail lights. So on this car, I'm not doing anything. I'm not touching anything. No mods except maybe some, you know, some signage or some decals or maybe some blacking of the windows. But I wanted to show you. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna move to my car. So I have bought this. I know it's ridiculous, but still it can, you know, can help. My mom years ago gave me this. She says keep it in your car and in your home for protection, because that's my saint, Father Sergei. And then here I got these boards. So hopefully I'm gonna put the car on these boards. I'm gonna put them under the tires. And I got this. I'm gonna put in the tank, fuel stabilizer, and that is my toolkit to disconnect the battery. And I just got these mothball packets. I'm gonna open this and leave it in the car. And I have that steel wool in there. So I'm gonna close the two exhaust pipes in the back and the air intake. So now it's basically just a waiting game. But the dealer did tell me that it might take very long. Bad news, good news. They don't have the manpower to do the undercoating, because that takes, they said 4 hours, and of course then you cannot wash it. And bad news number 2, they don't have this update, you know, where you get the security system and the fob disable and enhanced security, and pin code for starting. So they don't do that, so they said I should come back in the spring. Well, it's already getting dark. I'm at the dealer. Nothing goes right as usual, and life is stranger than fiction once again. A few issues. If you see the snow, right? The snow on the ground, and snow tires, I mean summer tires and snow, they don't mix very well. So I'm sitting there drinking coffee, and they said now they're going to detail it and put premium gas into it. And then the sales guy comes back to the lobby. He says, Sergei, I want to tell you something. I said, okay, what else can go wrong? He says he backed it out, because if you remember, the car was parked facing the building. So he backed it out, but as soon as he tried to make the corner, like basically, you know, it's a big facility here, and their detailing shop is on the other end, which is about, I don't know, 300 meters, 900 feet. So when he tried to take that corner, all inside the lot, but it's all covered in snow, he says the car started fishtailing, and somebody ran out and they said, stop, stop, stop. And so he came back and he parked it again in the same spot. And I said, and he says it has so much torque that's pretty much not drivable at all. And I said, let me try. But I said, you go with me for extra weight. And so we went in. The car starts inside. It's like unbelievable. It smells so nice. Everything is leather, you know, the white stitching. Man, it's like a little spaceship, you know, my little personal spaceship. And Steve was telling me, please be careful, be careful. And of course, he just gave me the black key. The black key, that's still 505 horsepower. And I said, okay, I'm not going to even touch gas. But with that extra weight, he's 220, I'm about 185. So what is that? Basically 400 pounds, right? And that extra really helped, and I just I had to hold my foot on the brake. Because, you know, with no gas, this thing was just moving, you know. And then when we cleared this snow patch over here, the rest was like a better condition. And I just took my foot off the brake, but didn't push the gas, and we just idled. But this thing has so much torque, you know, it just idled, I'm guessing in second gear, probably like 20 kilometers an hour. It idled towards the shop, detailing shop, and we go there, and Steve says to the guy, he says, we need something detailed ASAP. And this other guy looks at his watch, and it's like 4 o'clock already. But I don't know, they didn't have time yesterday. Yesterday was Monday, but nobody was able to do anything with the car yesterday. And so now the only thing they can do is they can wash it, and he says we might need to polish it a little bit because of the color, and they're gonna detail it inside. And inside it actually looks pretty good, like, but I did see some dirt. Somebody with dirty hands was touching here, like on this spot, but on the driver's side there's some dirt, right? But that's easily removable, you know. And of course it doesn't have any winter mats, so I'm gonna order some WeatherTech mats later on. But also they were not able to do the rust protection, and I asked them if that rust protection is the same as what 3M uses, and they say it's oil based, but they said it takes like 4 hours, so they don't have time today unless I want to come back tomorrow. I said no, especially since it's going to be sitting in the heated garage till spring. I said I can wait. Just said please make a note on the file that you owe me this. And he says okay. He says normally we only allow like 90 days, but he says because it's our fault, we'll let you come back. I said yeah, let's just, you know, schedule it for April sometime. I said all I need is when there's no snow and the temperature is higher than +5 Celsius or 41 F, and then I can drive it. But yeah, this car really feels a bit fishy, you know, on the snow. There's like, I don't know, 1.10 millimeter tread, I don't know. And I asked, the manager came out, and I said nothing is going right. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, can you please tell me the name of the idiot who put summer tires on a car sold to Alberta, Canada? It's not exactly, you know, BC here. We're not near the ocean where it stays warm. You know, we have real winters here, right? So why would he put summer tires? And he told me the secret. He says, actually, we had nothing to do with speccing this car. He says, so it all comes from Chrysler headquarters. They tell us, you know, because he says, you know, all these cars now, there's getting fewer and fewer of them. And he says, they just tell us, hey, we have this Hellcat. You want it? You know, you want to get this Hellcat? And so all the options, like what Chrysler did, right? They checked every box, every available box where you can add money to the car, make it more expensive. They checked that, including the black brakes, which I don't understand. Why would anybody pay $300 extra for black brakes, calipers? And then $600 for summer tires, the sunroof. Like, I'm not a big fan of all this stuff, you know, like something that I'm not gonna use or something that's not functional. But brakes, everybody knows that brakes should be red, right? But maybe it's okay, maybe it'll help keep this car under the radar of the bad guys, you know, because from the outside it looks like a regular Challenger. I'll be honest with you. Unless you know the dirty little secret, what SRT means, you would never know that this is a Hellcat. But inside, man, it's really special. You know, it's a special car. I'm really happy. I'm telling you. I was not sure until maybe 2 weeks ago, but then when he told me that the car is here, you know, I started getting jitters. And so yeah, they cannot do the undercoating. They cannot do the other thing I asked him about, so I'll come back for that one in the spring. So for now, I have all the documents. And the worst thing is that I still have to go myself. He says they tried to do it over the email, over the internet. They said, no, I have to go to the DOT office or registry and do the paperwork myself. So I have the plate, I have the bill of sale, everything is cool, I have the insurance, and then because it's so slippery, so that's what we're gonna be doing. I thought I'll drive it, but then I checked the map, and turns out that storage is 10 kilometers of 6 miles away, so definitely I'm not driving this car because it's slippery, you know. It's dangerous. This is dangerous, and it's now getting colder and colder. Like it was -2 Celsius, now I think it's going to be -3, -4. It's definitely bad for these tires, and there's no traction, right? So it's like driving a sleigh, you know, a sleigh with a 500 horsepower. With a black key, you get 505 horsepower. So anyway, the plan now is at 4 o'clock, they said it's going to take 2 hours to detail it and wash it. And I just talked to my tow truck guy, the storage facility. They gave me a contact for this guy, and I said, can you still do it, you know? And he says, yeah, but he's doing some call out of town. He says it's 1 hour one way, so he says give me a call at like 6:30, but he can still do it. I said it's I was concerned because I used to be a tow truck driver, right? I was concerned. I know when they try to put them on the bed, the front, there's a danger that you can damage the lower lip, right? And so I asked him, I said, do you have any kind of ramps? Or I said, I have these pieces of timber over here. And to my surprise, the guy says, oh, I got everything. He says, don't worry, I'll be careful. And so now we agreed with the sales guy, like normally after they do detailing, they bring the car here. But because it's so slippery and it's so tricky driving this beast, Steven, the sales guy, said to the detail guy, he says, once you're done, give me a call and we'll just bring the tow truck right there to the other side of this big lot. And so we're gonna load it on the flatbed, and then we're gonna drive across the street over there. It's like, when it's like 10 meters, 30 feet, there's a gas station. We're gonna drive it over there. They're gonna come with us, pay with a credit card, fill it up with premium gas, and hopefully I'll be able to go together with the guy. I'll ask him on the phone when I call. Otherwise I'll call an Uber, because I have to bring, oh yeah, and I have to load all these goodies. I have to transfer it to the car. And and I checked, I opened the trunk because I wanted to see if it really has that subwoofer. And sure enough, where on my previous cars where you have the tire, that space now is taken by I think it was even two, not just one. I think it was two medium-sized subwoofers. So like this thing that has that Cardon, what it's called, you know, that premium sound package. I think it has like 18 speakers with subwoofers, so it should sound really nice inside. So very exciting day. And also was talking about the work, a couple of words about the work. it looks like I found a carrier that can do that pintle hitch load. Remember I had that, I was trying to find somebody to do a pintle hitch load power only inside Canada, but it's like a 2,000 miles. And a guy called me this morning, we had a nice chat, and he says, yeah, I have this, and I have air brakes, and I have a counterweight I can add to the fifth wheel. And I'm like, wait, what counterweight? And he says, well, usually with these things there's not enough weight on the tongue. And he says it would be really helpful if you can call your customer and ask how much weight the truck will have on that hitch once it's connected, because he says that will tell me how much weight I have to add to the fifth wheel of the truck. And I'm like, holy moly, this guy knows what he's talking about. So he did it before, right? When I was trucking, I was thinking about installing one of these pintle hitches, but it was expensive. So I decided not to do it, because like a heavy duty one was like $800 Canadian, plus install, plus you need, you know, electric brakes in there, or air brakes, right? So it's a lot of work. But this guy definitely knows this stuff. And so I emailed my customer, and he says 6,000 pounds. So the machine with its own trailer is 32,500, but only 6,000 goes on the hitch. You see? So, and probably the truck will have, I'm trying to remember, my empty truck was 27,000 pounds. So I think, but it was a big truck with a double frame and big engine. I remember, I think I had 11,000 on the drives when empty. And even with that truck, you see, now I would only have like 17,000 pounds. That's not enough, you know. It's a bit scary. And so this guy says he would use one of his counterweights. So anyway, see, it's getting darker and darker. So Captain Sergei is stuck here. I decided just to get inside the pickup truck and record my video over here, because there's music, you know, they have music on the speakers inside the dealership, and that's, of course, you know, copyrighted material. As soon as YouTube discovers music on your video, they lock it out from, you cannot monetize it, no monetization. They send you email, you know, stuff like that. So that's what's going on. So yeah, tonight is gonna be a long day. So 6:30 the guy will come, then we'll have to, with the tow truck, then we'll have to gas the car. I already have all the paperwork. They give me the bill of sale, they give me a special piece of paper. He says you need this for the registry, for the DOT office. He says, I said, what is this? He said it's kind of like a birth certificate for the car. And then tomorrow I'm gonna go to the registry and transfer that plate that I had on my Charger. So they already attached it to this car. I'm gonna transfer the kind of like ownership from that one to this one. So let's see what's going on. All right, so I'm gonna pause the camera, and then we're gonna start again when the tow truck is here. Well, latest update. I'm at in front of the, backed my truck towards the detail department. Man, the car looks, when it's clean, it's like amazing. And the way it sounds, like Steven, the sales guy, I said, okay, you do it. So he brought it out, and I moved all my stuff, put it in the trunk. And he said, I'm not sure if they checked the tire pressure. So we moved it back, and I said, give me like 40 psi, even though the door sticker says 32. But I said, let's do 40 because it's going to be sitting till spring. And I don't know if you can see that red light that's the gas station. But they were afraid to drive because it's all snow in here. But the road is okay, but over here it's all slippery, and probably to get to the gas station there's a little hill in there, so I don't know, like it's ridiculous. And I told them, I said, guys, can you maybe send some kind of a feedback to Chrysler headquarters? Just, you know, why are they speccing a car like this, right? You're selling a car to a Canadian in not just simple Canadian, but Alberta, right? Like northern, pretty much Canada. It would be so much simpler if this had sorry about that, if this had all season tires, it would be so much simpler. I would still probably put it in storage because, you know, I have to do more research about how to protect the car. You know, I'm not ready right now to deal with this. That somebody asked me about this. They said what's the reason why you don't want to drive it this winter but you're willing to drive it next winter? It's just that, you know, it's already expensive, you know, all the money, you know. I haven't made any money since September. Well, probably except the YouTube earnings. You see that in the mirror? Man. Yeah, we're just gonna park it over here, and I have to wait till oh, actually it's time to call the tow truck, maybe now. Well, it's already 7:30. The tow truck that storage company promised me disappeared because he's busy working somewhere, but now I parked my Hellcat like this. Yeah, sorry, my GoPro died. Had to get the other one. Oh, cool. My tow truck is here. Hold on. So we just finished gassing up. The car was behaving, properly secured by the gentleman from A&A Towing, and I got 94 gas, and I locked out with ethanol free. 94 gas, so 100 liters was 63 bucks Canadian. Price per liter $1.59. Supreme Plus with Tecron, ethanol free. Good stuff. Well, from 2 o'clock, now it's like 9:40, 9:45, but that's it. The car is in storage, and I just took Uber back, so it is done. Actually, the place, hold on, that's it. You see, now I only have one key. Before, here I would use this, I would put my truck keys, but now that's it. I only have the keys from the apartment. I am carless. But I was mentioning before, somebody was saying, how are you gonna live without a car? Well, 10 minutes this way, walking 10 minutes, there's a grocery store, there's a liquor store, there's a meat store. Okay, 1.2 kilometers this way, there's a shawarma place, there's 2 of my banks, there's a liquor store. I'm surrounded by liquor stores over here, but I'm trying to quit drinking. And there's another grocery store in there, and there's gyms, massages, all this good stuff, you know. And I have these Nordic poles, and I have this weighted vest with some extra weights. So I was thinking, you know, actually the plan is to get healthier before the spring. And so I'll just basically start walking everywhere. And then of course you can buy food on Amazon. I know there's a bunch of places that do deliveries. You can buy like even meat online, right? And again, like there's a couple of grocery stores just within walking distance. I can really live without a car, you know, for a few months. And I mentioned this before, like I decided not to do that, not to take that car from Montana. That's my friend was offering me, because it's a great deal, but again, it's like the airfare was $500 US, and then plus hotel. Because of course I wouldn't want to just leave right away. I would want to go explore some of those local parks in there, in Montana, and then you have to drive back 300 miles or 500 kilometers, you know, and then you have to deal with Canadian Customs, explaining to them why you're driving a car with Montana plates. Okay, for that one I figured we could do like a rental contract, like for $1, right? But then the thing is, in Alberta you need you only allow 3 months, and then you have to change the plate and you have to get local insurance. Actually, yeah, and that's another thing. This guy wanted me to get my own insurance, and that's like $200, $150, you know. And so I figured, no, that's just too much BS. And so yeah, with this car, so I didn't put the steel wool in the air intake. There was no time, but I put something in the very back, of the exhaust. 2 exhaust pipes, just put it in there, and we put it on blocks. I put, you know, wrote it on the blocks, and I didn't disconnect the battery because the guy says they might need to move the car, so I gave him the key actually. You know, the storage place guy gave him the black key. Oh, check this out. And I brought, look at this. So with this Hellcat, I don't know why, but they give you 2 red keys and only 1 black key. So black key is good for 505 horsepower. When you use this, you unlock 717 horsepower. Okay. And so I left the black key, and because of that, the guy says we might need to move the car a little bit, because, you know, it was a bit crowded there. There's like a big pickup truck with 34-inch wheels behind me. There's a like expensive SUV to my left. There's a couple of bikes, but basically, yeah, they use that. But the good news is it's all heated facility, you know. It's super nice. There's gates, there's cameras everywhere. It's very secure. And so I told the guy, I said, okay, I'll leave the battery like this. If it gets if it runs down, then we'll just, because, you know, these guys are mechanics as well. They work on cars over there. So I said, then we'll just boost it. I said, I'll just pay you to boost it. And also what I did is I picked up this owner's manual, because I couldn't find online. Maybe it's the same manual, because for some reason, you know, when I was searching for 22 Dodge Challenger manual, usually they're available online for free, but they were not showing any Hellcats. Like this on the right, the silver one, that's a Hellcat, because you see it has dual air intake on the top. And actually, oh, check this out, that blue one, it's like just like mine. You know, but I got this in case they have some info here on Hellcats, because I want to find out what the braking period is, because I don't think you're supposed to use that red key for full power before you reach certain mileage, you know, like I'm guessing 500 kilometers, 300 miles, you know, but I may be wrong, but that's why I want to read up on it. So the car is parked, and now we're just basically, all we're doing now is we're doing research, and I'll be doing some videos about Hellcats, you know, about my plans, what I plan to do with the car, because I'm not gonna do any mods, but I might just get some minor things, you know, like what people do, some stickers, some logos, maybe tint the windows a little bit, you know, stuff like that. But you'll definitely see more content on my channel about the Hellcat. I'm real happy, like the car looks amazing after it was detailed and washed. I think they even polished it a little bit, but the color is out of this world. I'm really happy with the color. Black rims because it has black package, black calipers, sunroof, black leather. Man, it's like kind of a little, you know, early Christmas present. And so now I'll be watching the thermometer very closely. So you guys also, you should be helping me, okay? So as soon as you see, just search for weather Calgary, Alberta. As soon as we see 41F or plus 5C, you have to know, you have to tell me immediately, because then I'm gonna grab my red key, since I don't have my black key anymore, and I'm gonna head down there, and we're gonna start having some fun, you know, vroom vroom, zoom zoom. And also, yeah, meanwhile I'll be searching for some racing opportunities. See, I think the guy was, I was talking to the tow truck guy, they were mentioning the something near Edmonton. But yeah, oh, about the tow truck, my original guy never showed up. So this guy, I found him on Google Maps because I was searching for tow truck near me, and these guys were like 5 minutes away. And so the guy was super nice. Danny, if you're watching, thank you very much. He was very careful, and at one point I was driving it on, and at one point the front bumper lip came really close to the deck, and he stopped me. I said, yeah, I don't want it to touch the deck of your truck because it might damage that bumper, right? So we rolled off, and then we jumped into that red Ram truck because there was a Home Depot nearby. And me and Steven, the sales guy, we went over there. He helped me. We bought 3 planks, you know, like 10 foot long, probably 2 inches tall. And that helped us. And this way I was able to drive on. And then he put straps on each tire. And I kept it open so that the alarm doesn't go off. And then we just drove it to a gas station near the storage facility, and I found that 94 gas with no ethanol. And when I was in the storage, actually I put in that fuel stabilizer. So that's the only things I did to the car. So I put in the fuel stabilizer, I put those boards on the tires just to keep the tires from getting deformed. And also the dealer, I asked them, they made sure they put like 40 psi in the tires, whereas the manual recommends 32, so which is good. And so I blocked the rear exhaust with that steel wool. So I think we should be good. So anyway, that's it. It's been a very long day. So now I'm gonna do this video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna upload it today, maybe tomorrow morning. And then guys, so like, subscribe, leave comments, and I'll see you later.